House of Glory Wrestling fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. For the first time since December of last year, I attended House of Glory as they presented their 13th annual high intensity. And I have to say, I was not there for last year's high intensity, and I'll say right now, this particular show blew last year's high intensity out of the water. Now, this was such a loaded card just on paper alone, and I was very surprised that we kicked it off with this matchup, as the real one, Zilla Fatu, defended the Crown Jewel Championship against Mr. HOG himself, the Amazing Red. A great match these two had. Even though it was a contrast of styles. Eventually, the Amazing Red pinned Zilla Fatu at 17 minutes 20 seconds to become the new House of Glory Crown Jewel Champion. And after the match, Red took the microphone. He said to Zilla, "Good luck." So everyone's thinking Zilla Fatu may be on his way to the WWE or somewhere on television. Next was an unannounced matchup, as we saw all grown up Jaden Vallow take on a man who, I don't know if this was his House of Glory debut as well, but I know it was Jaden Vallow's HOG debut. But for this man, AEW's Hook, the son of former ECW champion Taz, Hook got a huge pop from the crowd. The match was on. Hook defeated Jaden Vallow with Red Rum, which is the Taz mission that Hook's father Taz was known for. But in the world of judo, the proper name of it is the Kata Hajime. Or as one dude I used to know, for some reason, I told about that move, and he would say, the Jaja Gabor. Hook defeated Jaden Vallow with Red Rum submission at 6 minutes 54 seconds, and the crowd ate Vallow up here. Vallow I've seen at NYWC, and I think it was the first time I've seen Vallow as a heel. He was just looking around the crowd were eating him up, saying, "Who are you?" And wow. From there, we had another match. This match I thought could have gone on later in the show, as we saw no longer the ring leader or ring master, now the Blackheart, Midas Black taking on Jay Lion, main event tag team collide in a one-on-one matchup. And well, I know people are heartbroken over what happened back at Waging War back in May when they split. The match was on. Eventually, Midas, he punches referee Stephen Dumeng in the face, and I thought that would have been called for a disqualification. Stephen rolled out of the ring and he ended up on the floor. Eventually, Jay Lion brought some chairs in the ring from the crowd. Midas eventually used the chair on Jay Lion, and like the back piece of the chair broke and it went flying out of the ring onto the floor. But then, as Midas was continuing the onslaught, the tag team Dual Focus, I don't know their individual names, came out in their gear, and I think Midas hightailed it out of the ring. But then Lion gets up, he picks up a chair and hits both members of Dual Focus. Officially, the match was a no contest at 24 minutes 38 seconds, and it's safe to say we now have the main event has reunited for what seems to be evil purposes. And another thing, during this match, the fans, well, not the whole crowd, but the fans were throwing garbage at Midas Black and throwing garbage at other heels as the show went on, and something's got to be done about that. I don't know if HOG wants to think about hiring security or do something about that, because the funny thing is, when Midas and Lion were both walking through that crowd, that crowd on the stage as they're trying to get to the backstage area, a fan threw something at Midas, and Midas retaliated by pushing that fan, and ended up back in his seat. Whether it was his seat or not, but nonetheless, somebody put that shit on Instagram and somewhere. But, you know, I think something's got to have to be done about that at HOG. And for those fans who were throwing stuff at the ring, you're all fucking pigs. You're pigs for throwing stuff. Is that how you treat your home? Next matchup, we see Blackheart Leo Rush challenging infamous Darren Richardson for the Cruiserweight Championship. I forgot what happened. I don't know if the referee was handing the Cruiserweight title over to ring announcer David Adams. But something happened. Richardson, he pinned Leo Rush to retain the Cruiserweight Championship at 44 seconds. And the fans are like, what the hell was that and stuff. But then out comes HOG Commissioner Jason Solomon, and he tells Darren Richardson, you're going to, you know, Richardson, you know, we're going to do this. You're going to go back to the ring, and this match is going to restart with no disqualification, no count out, no holds barred. So the immediate rematch gets underway. Leo Rush, who brought an umbrella to the ring, he used it on Richardson and cut him open, and he was bleeding. Ugh. Very badly. And then I actually forgot how the match ended, but Blackheart Leo Rush defeated infamous Darren Richardson to become the new HOG Cruiserweight Champion at 14 minutes 47 seconds. Then it was time for the Matt Travis Memorial Battle Royal. Matt Travis, for those who know, was part of House of Glory. He passed away back in 2019. So they do a battle royal in honoring his memory. Among the participants of the battle royal this year were making his HOG debut, the demonic juggernaut Apollyon, who I've seen many times in NYWC. Mad John, who works for Loud East Wrestling, run by the Grim Reaper. I saw Matt Awesome in some type of New York Knicks inspired shirt. Who else I saw in there? Smiley, the Tiny Giant, Monte the Killer. I don't know if that's Montekia or not. Raheem Royal, Jody Ora. I don't know if Dual Focus was supposed to be in the match because they came out in their gear to save Jay Lyon from Midas Black. Let me see who else I can remember was in this match. Well, there was one person who actually came to the ring wearing a hoodie. I don't know if that's the one Apollyon eliminated from the matchup. I can't remember some of the other names, but in the end, Sweet Cheeks Joey Silver won the Matt Travis Memorial Battle Royal at 17 minutes 48 seconds, and by virtue of the victory, he got a contract which he gets a championship match at any HOG belt at any time. Then they show a video promo of Charles Mason discussing his match with Eddie Kingston, but then out comes Steph DeLander wanting a shot at the Women's Championship, and she stayed at ringside for our next match, which saw Shayna Baszler challenge Shotzi Blackheart for the Women's Championship. Now, I feel sorry for these ladies. They did have a good match, but the placement of the show, because the crowd was seemingly dead for most of their match until like Shotzi did something to Shayna down out on the floor. Eventually, Steph DeLander hits the ring, attacks Shotzi, and by virtue of that, Shotzi Blackheart defeats Shayna Baszler by disqualification at 14 minutes 9 seconds. Shotzi retains the Women's Championship. Baszler eventually gets up. She wants to go after DeLander, but then all of a sudden, DeLander's husband, Mance Warner, he's a lucky bastard to be married to her. And then eventually, Blackheart Leo Rush came from underneath the ring, and Warner and DeLander skedaddled out of there. Next match, we were set to see Blessed Casey Navarro take on Ricky Sosa one-on-one. But before the match get underway, out comes Hillary P. Wisdom with his charges, Angel Jaquez and Idris Jackson. And I forgot what wisdom sit on the microphone, that bookworm. And Navarro, I think, took the microphone and he says to Sosa, you know, you've been saving me from the system on TNA in recent memory. And Navarro said, you guys don't have championship belts. But then right on cue, out comes Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys. I don't know if those are brand new House of Glory Tag Team Championship belts they came out wearing. But they came out, the match, a three-way match for the Tag Team House of Glory Tag Championship. The Hardy Boys were wearing their TNA belts too. Match was on. At one point, Casey Navarro's in the ring with Jeff Hardy, and they talk about doing what many are referring to as the Jeff Hardy juke. You know, that Jeff's known for. And the funny thing is, Navarro said to Jeff, hey, let's do it together. And then the Hardy Boys music starts playing. It's Jeff and Casey are doing that, but then Jeff ends the fun with a boot to the midsection and nails Navarro with a twist of fate. Eventually, the Hardy Boys defeat Navarro and Sosa and the combination of Idris Jackson and Angel Jaquez to retain the Tag Team Championship at 17 minutes 20 seconds. Wow. Both two matches on the show went 17 minutes 20 seconds, including the opening match where Red defeated Zilla Fatu. And then it was time for the second half of the main event, as we saw Eddie Kingston challenge a root of all evil, Charles Mason, for the heavyweight championship. Brutality with the chop fest these two guys were having. At one point, Kingston hit a spinning back fist from the future. I think he hit it a second time. He was going for, I think, a third time, but Mason avoided the back fist and hit Kingston in the balls. Referee Stephen Dumaine called for the bell. Kingston defeats Charles Mason by disqualification at 17 minutes 13 seconds. Mason still hangs on to the heavyweight championship. Kingston not happy. He brought a chair in the ring and he uses it on Mason. Gives him a DDT on the chair. Kingston leaves the ring right by the section I was sitting at. And then all of a sudden, out comes Sweet Cheeks Joey Silver with the contract he won earlier in the night. He tells Stephen D. Bang, I'm catching this in right now. And David Adams made the announcement. Then the bell rings. Mason tries to hit Silver with the House of Glory Championship belt. He tries to kick Silver in the balls, Silver in the balls, but Silver catches the foot, picks him up in this move, which one of the commentators called the Starburster. Joey Silver defeats Charles Mason at 15 seconds to become the new House of Glory heavyweight champion. And after the match, of course, Silver celebrating. The crowd was thrilled, seemingly, except for Mason's fans. As I said, this blew last year's high intensity out of the water. And seems like every time I miss out on any federation for a while, I come back and then there's always an awesome show waiting for me, it seems. And not just with House of Glory, other indies as well. Well, personal notes, it was good seeing Catherine Castro, Thomas Scuderi, Mikey Muscles Marinaro, who wrestles for NYWC, noticed me in the bathroom before the show. Also from NYWC was Dirk Moore and Ref Zach. So many good-looking women in the crowd. Oh, how could I forget? I saw Amy, who frequents NYWC events. Before the show actually began, they were playing a lot of music, of course. They played The Other Side by Alter Bridge. They ended up playing Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme. They played Kurt Angle's theme. They played John Cena's theme, and it was some dude on the stage dressed as Cena. He played Roman Reigns' theme, and all the newbies in the crowd putting their finger up. Wow. What an awesome show here. Now, another thing I might mention about the fan throwing stuff is not okay. But I don't understand, why is it for the fans who are stuck standing all night? I don't know how all those fans do it. I mean, if there comes a day I come to HOG and I can't get a seat, I'm not standing for 3 hours. I'll turn around and walk out of the show. Walk out even before the show starts, but because my knees can't handle standing there. And by the way, for those wondering, this show went straight through without intermission. When the show ended, I had to use the bathroom, and after I got out of there, the doors right by the men's bathroom were open, and I chose to exit the place that way. And then I went to the back of the building, which is a block away, that met up with two friends of mine who did not attend the show, but they tried to get pictures with wrestling. I think one of them got a picture with Ricky Sosa. They caught the new champion Joey Silver. I don't know who else they saw or got pictures with. I did see after the show Eddie Kingston, main event. Shayna Baszler, fans were all over her after the show. Jason Solomon and JD, the commentators, I noticed them. The Hardy Boys, they were just leaving as I arrived in the back. I don't think I saw Charles Mason after the show though. Brian XL. Oh, I forgot to mention. Yeah, saw Brian XL. Saw him outside. Chris Devine. I don't know if Devine is like helping with the training or what he's doing, but he was there. Said he hadn't seen me in a long time, which is true. Because again, this was actually my first HOG event since last December. Okay. Now, House of Glory will return to action on Friday, September 4th. They present Fallout out in Los Angeles, California. And then on Friday, September 25th, they'll be in Chicago for Windy City Warfare. No word yet on when they'll be back at the NYC Arena in Queens, New York. I'm guessing maybe October. If not, I'm sure December they'll be back. Because I know in November they're going to be running out in Long Island the day of that big event convention. Who else we've got? What other stuff I can discuss here? Well, I mean, a lot happened on this match. Oh, and also I forgot to mention the three-way tag title match. Angel Jaquez, I don't know if something went wrong with him. He appeared to be bleeding. Well, since it didn't happen on this occasion, hopefully Ricky Sosa and Casey Navarro will go one-on-one at a future HOG event or maybe a future indie show somewhere. Ooh, let's see. With new champions crowned, apparently Leo Rush is going to be around. He's the new Cruiserweight champion. I mean, the House of Glory does need tag teams. Maybe that's why the main event of Reunited as heels. Because let's face it, October is going to mark 1 year since the Hardy Boys won the tag belts. Excuse me. Let me see here. I forgot to mention also in the Battle Royal we had Diamond Virago and Amira, I forgot her last name. They were in the Battle Royal as well. I don't know, House of Glory, if you're ever going to find a bigger place in Queens to run, because I am reluctant about coming to shows in the summertime because I know it gets fucking hot in there. With all that, especially with that sea of humanity, mostly fans standing and all. outstanding. And I don't know how the fans do it. I mean, this show went like close to 4 hours, or maybe a little over 4 hours, I believe. And another thing, this fans were vaping in the building. Something's gotta be done about that shit. I mean, they can't keep doing this. Because I didn't notice after the show, when I was out a block away by the back door, there were people out there smoking weed. Gross. Can't take the smell of that shit. I can't even take the smell of cigarettes, folks. I'm glad my parents were not smokers. May they rest in peace. Interesting to see how things go after this show, especially with new champions crowned, main event back together, and where's root of all evil, Charles Mason? I'm sure he's gonna want a rematch for that championship. Oh, I forgot to mention their feeder fed Legacy Pro Wrestling. They're doing a show at the NYC Arena Friday, September 18th. I'd like to go to one of their shows someday, because they got a lot of students. We know there's a lot of talent. And also they only charge $20 for their shows, so hope someday I get to go there. You know, LPW, that is. Okay. Oh, I did forget to mention during the Leo Rush, Darren Richardson take two, shall we say, Richardson tried to get out of the ring. He tried to go into the crowd, and somebody made him go back over the rail, or put him back over the rail. And again, this fans gotta stop throwing garbage. And also, was one of my friends who, he didn't attend the show, he was watching the live stream on YouTube. He doesn't understand why all these little kids are giving middle fingers, but they're bound to get that. Children get disgusting stuff from basically the public eye. If they don't get it from their parents at home, or they don't get it from people in school, they're gonna learn it out in the public eye, But something's got to be done about the fans. Stop throwing trash. Okay. Okay, I think that will do it, folks. House of Glory, it was great to be back for the first time since late last year. Can't wait to hear when you'll be back at the NYC Arena. I sure hope there'll be more things coming. Hopefully you'll bring Hook back. Hopefully Apollyon gets to come back in the future. And hopefully a Ricky Sosa versus Casey Navarro match does happen. Okay, that'll do it. HOG, 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 HOG.